Recoil seems to be one of the most frustrating things for players. With recoil macros, tons of videos on recoil control, and players struggling to keep their recoil under control, I wanted to make the ultimate guide on controlling recoil so well you'll forget it was ever a problem. By the end of this video, you'll feel like you downloaded a recoil macro and never struggle with it again. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and let's get started. So let's walk through every step to get zero recoil in Siege. The first step, and where most of the work will be done, is in the shooting range. So let's start out with a gun that has almost no recoil like Maverick's M4. The first step is obviously going to be your attachments. So if you're on attack, you can choose to either use an ACOG or not. An ACOG will make your recoil harder though, because with an ACOG, your sensitivity is actually lower, meaning you have to pull down farther to control the same recoil. So it's not placebo. Then for barrels, most of the time you're going to want to use flash hider. The reason for this is because the flash hider, as you can see here, reduces the speed at which the muzzle moves upwards while shooting. Most guns in Siege do not have a lot of horizontal recoil, so the flash hider will just reduce the amount you have to pull down, making recoil control easier. Now, for guns that do have a lot of horizontal recoil, if you notice, for example, the gun always sways side to side while you're shooting it, run the compensator. This won't help your vertical recoil, but it will help reduce the amount of side to side sway that your recoil has. Now, muzzle brake is only for things like pistols and DMRs, just any single shot weapons, and then suppressor and extended barrel do not help or hinder your recoil at all. It's just a net zero on your recoil. Now, the only grip really worth using in Siege is the vertical grip. Unless the gun has actually zero recoil like Vigil's gun, then horizontal grip I have found to be pretty useful. Angle grip is completely useless, never use it. So the first thing that we're going to do is walk up to this first lane here. I'll aim at the bottom so you can see how the recoil pattern goes. As you can see, it goes pretty much just straight up to the right. There's not a lot of real controlling that you need. So since it goes up and to the right, if we just pull down to the left, it will control it in this tight pattern here. Essentially, the only thing that you actually need to be good at recoil control is still aiming while pulling down to the left. Because if, for example, right, you start moving and you're pulling down to the left and that throws off your aim and it goes over here, that's why recoil control is difficult. It's hard to not only track your target from side to side, but doing that while also adding in that down left motion. So I would say the absolute best way to practice your recoil control is stand at this target and just move side to side. Don't let it go way up and down. Don't let it go way side to side. Just walk side to side and try to get as tight of a recoil pattern as possible. Now, if we look at another operator, let's try, for example, Grimm's Commando. As you can see, this also has very, very easy to control recoil. It's basically the same pattern. It just goes slightly more up straight instead of up to the right. That makes it very, very easy to control this recoil. The only issue is as you can see, it goes side to side a little bit. So for Grimm's gun could be a good use case for the compensator, since that will do the horizontal recoil for you. Now, another thing to keep in mind is you only really need to focus on the first 10 bullets. Because of how fast the time to kill is in Siege, if you hit someone 2 to 3 times in the body, they're dead. So if you get 10 bullets off, as long as your aim is decent, of course, they are going to be dead by this time. So there's not going to be a lot of situations where you have to spray an entire mag. So don't even necessarily focus on that too hard. Now, for guns that have a lot of recoil, like for example, Twitch's F2, as you can see, the recoil is very, very high. The amount of distance in between these bullets, especially with how fast the fire rate is on this weapon, is crazy. So whenever you want to control this weapon, if you are struggling with it, you have a few options. The ACOG, as we talked about before, makes the recoil a lot harder. As you can see, there's quite a bit of vertical range in these shots, and that is with the flash hider. So what you can do is you can actually just take off the ACOG. That will help you with your recoil a lot. If you put a 1x on it, then all of a sudden the exact same gun is a lot easier to control. Another thing you can do is go to options, go to controls, go to mouse ADS sensitivity, change it to advanced, and turn up your 2.5x magnification sensitivity. This will help your ACOG sense, because the higher sense you have, the less you'll actually have to pull down your mouse, right? Because the same amount of mouse movement distance will control more recoil. Another thing you can do is just increase your vertical sensitivity a little bit, right? Maybe I'm on 10-10, and instead I change it to 10-11. This won't affect your aim very much, since most of the time you're doing horizontal horizontal aim anyway, but this will now help you with your vertical recoil once you get used to the sensitivity, of course, because now you don't have to pull your actual mouse down nearly as far. Now, the next thing that you can do is actually go to this second lane. I don't use this lane very much, but it can be very helpful to get an actual idea of how good your recoil control is. I will not control this recoil very well, but I'll hit every single shot to their chest. I missed one bullet there out of the entire mag just shooting at their chest. Even if we go, let's say 20 meters with one of the hardest guns in the game to control, and let's even put an ACOG on it, I'm still hitting 24 out of 25 shots just shooting at this target 20 meters away, aiming for the chest. Hitting headshots is great if you can do it, but at long ranges, that's not always feasible. All you need to do is be able to consistently hit them in their chest, since they're going to die in 2 to 3 shots anyway. Then finally, after doing this for, let's say 10 minutes a day, maybe any practice at all will help. To really test and see if it's working, go into a free-for-all deathmatch. So you go into training, you go to deathmatch, go to settings, turn off team deathmatch because team deathmatch is dumb. Then you queue for a free-for-all deathmatch. Whenever you're going through this deathmatch, just focus on how good your recoil control is. If you feel like you're missing shots due to recoil, then it might be a good idea to go and practice your recoil a bit more. Or maybe just continue with your 5 minutes a day and keep testing it every day to see your gradual improvement. The most important aspect of recoil is just that you can consistently put your bullets in a general area. You don't want to lose control of the recoil at any point. As long as you can do that, then you're pretty much good on recoil, and the rest is probably going to be mostly aim. Which, if you want better aim, make sure to check out this video on the 5 best aim tips to make your aim better overnight. Just click the video on screen now.